What is up, everybody? It is Og here, back with another video, and in today's video, we are officially the 1-60 solo world record no logout abuse holders. And so we did this in a time of 74 hours and 1 minute. I think that we definitely could have improved on the time a bunch. And so we're going to be going over some ways that we definitely could have improved later in the video. And I probably won't have this record for long because I think I could have shaved off about 14 hours, and there's already people going for the record themselves. And so I think if they go for it, they're probably going to be able to shave off some decent time along the way. And so I'm going to be shouting them out later in the video if you want to keep up with the world record race. But as I said, we left off at level 55 by going over to the dancing trolls. I'm going to have a full separate video on the dancing trolls themselves, the best method and everything like that. But that's where we're going to get started. So why do we go to the dancing trolls? Well, unfortunately, with the ways that the rules work for this record, you can't actually group up with anybody. And so I can't go over to ZG. And I wanted to be in a solid place where I could get a lot of experience per hour without needing to go into DM North where I'm constantly dying and then running back because I can't reset with the logout strategy or anything like that. And I didn't want to go over to, something like Mara because I didn't have minor run speed on boots. And without minor run speed on boots, Mara is just horrible. So I decided to go over to Dancing Trolls. And I had never done Dancing Trolls on the stream before. People had requested me back in the day not to do it. And so I haven't done it on the stream before. But basically what Dancing Trolls is it's supposed to be an area that's purely for aesthetics. It's basically just supposed to look good, so when you fly over it, you have something entertaining to watch. Well, there's basically a way to jump through the mountains in 2 different locations in order to get here. And once you get here, there's massive quantities of trolls ranging from level 52 to 58. And so if you focus on killing down those groups in an efficient manner, you can reach approximately 110 to 140,000 experience per hour. Now, this is only available for the Alliance, and that's why I actually leveled up a gnome. I wanted to do a Horde tomb because the Hordes get access to the lower level wand quicker, and I discussed that. But this is available to Alliance only. And so because I knew that I couldn't go to ZG, I decided to go gnome. And that was really the main reason why I went gnome. And it ended up working out pretty well because we were able to fly through the last levels with an average of about 2 hours a level. It did take some time to get down the strat. Initially, I was dying a little bit, but once we got it down, we were good to go. Now, the issue with dying here is that if you do die, the run back is atrocious. Guys, we're talking a massive, massive run back if you die. So try to limit your deaths as much as possible. Maybe have somebody res you here, or maybe have another reser or something basically to get back here. Because if you do die, you basically have to spirit res and then run all the way back. And it's going to take you about 12 minutes. So it's an amazing, amazing leveling spot for the Alliance. You can get about 2 hours of level from level 55 to 60. I recommend probably starting more so at the 56 range just because the level 58s can resist you, and you're going to want to use Flame Strike Shatter. So you could run into some potential issues, but this is a fantastic place to get started. Now, I wasn't able to go, well, I could have gone all the way to 60 here, but I decided not to because I messed up earlier and I accidentally made all of my wool cloth into, various tailoring things, and I should not have done that, but I still had some in the bank. And so I figured if I can go over to Stockades and quickly get 4 wool cloth, this is literally all I need, 4 wool cloth, I could do another turn-in. And the cloth turn-ins, as you guys know, are about 13,000 experience. And so if you can just knock one of those out, it's some really, really good experience very, very quickly. So I decided, you know what, I'll leave the trolls. It's about a 9-minute respawn timer on the trolls for the full rotation. And so I figured might as well just go ahead, leave, and in 9 minutes or less, I could hit level 60. So I went over to Stockades to try to basically farm Stockades to get some wool cloth. Stockades, however, was not being cooperative and actually didn't give me wool cloth from the very first group of like 30 mobs that I killed. And so GG to me. But it ended up taking me a little bit longer, but I eventually was able to get the wool cloth that I needed. And so I had enough wool cloth, rune cloth, silk cloth, and mage weave cloth to do the last cloth turn in to ding level 60. So here we are running in, and you can see the time at 74 hours and 1 minute over here. And here we are turning in the last cloth. This was one heck of a journey. Absolutely crazy, but it was so much fun along the way. Thank you guys so much for everybody being there. Thank you, Ruzels, Riaz, everybody who just supported me immensely to celebrate going full-time and everything like that. Obviously, I'm still going to be doing more world record competitions. We're leveling up Pallies, getting ready for TBC and everything like that. So really excited for those moving forward. But let's check out what I could have done better along the run to knock off potentially 14 hours. I think that we could get as low as about 60 hours played. Obviously, the first thing being 90 deaths. 90 deaths, probably not a good thing. Probably should have done that a lot better. But let's talk about what I did do well and what I could have done better. So one thing I'm still 50-50 on is whether AoE farming or questing is better. And so we started AoE farming right here at this Defias spot, and it was good. It was very good. I mean, we were able to go about 30 minutes level at this point, which is pretty good for the lower levels. But would questing have been better? Now, questing might have been a little bit slower at times, but questing also opens up the ability to get better gear. I really ran into a gear issue later on, and I was using literally strength and stamina rings all the way until 57. Potentially all the way until even like, I think even 60 I still had one on. And so if I could have gotten some better gear, that might have been a massive, massive help along the way. So that's one big area of improvement I think that we could potentially glean moving forward, is maybe it would be better to go over to Darkshore in the lower levels and then start AoE farming later. Now this would obviously mean that I wouldn't be able to use the crabs. So the crabs is just an insane leveling spot. And so if I can't use the crabs, I don't know. It's about 50-50. I'm curious what you guys think. If you guys think the crabs would be better, or if you guys think questing would be better. I'm not sure. I think both would be, great ways to level up, but it'd be interesting to kind of see an XP to XP comparison between Darkshore questing and the crabs and then the other AoE farms you would do. One thing I 100% could have done better though is not coming over to these mongrels at level 20. And so I wasted so much time basically running back and forth at level 20 between Westfall and here and then back to Westfall. There's so much time lost. And so properly laying out basically the strategy of where I'm going to be going and really honing in on the best strategy that I can use would have been much better. Westfall, I think, is an amazing AoE spot from level 18 to 22 at the Knoll camps that we showed. You can get, still about 30 minutes to at most an hour level over here. And I think it would have been a lot better than had we stayed and tried to go over to Loch Madan. Loch Madan, I think, would have been great at level 22. And that goes into another big thing that I think probably could have helped out the run a lot. I initially thought the Flame Strike AoE strategy would be better because you are killing the mobs faster, right? But at the end of the day, a lot of the time that you spend is the time you spend drinking. And so if we're going to spend a lot of the time drinking, I would rather kill the mobs safely. As you can see, every single one of these pools that I was doing, I was getting pretty low on health. I mean, right here, even 10%, 1% mana, and I'm level 21. And so I think at level 22, it might have been better just to go over and blizzard these wetland knolls. I think that probably would have been a better option. Now, the reason I say that is you can see right here on Flame Strike, Cone of Cold, or Flame Strike Arcane Explosion, because I don't have Cone of Cold yet, about 3 to 4 mobs at a time. And so you can really only do mobs that are about 2 levels below you up to your level with Flame Strike Arcane Explosion, or else they're just going to have too much health. And at the same time, I could have blizzarded like 8 mobs, right? And so if I'm able to blizzard mobs that are higher level and I can do double the mob count, if I'm going to spend the same amount of time drinking, I might as well blizzard. And I think this honestly probably cost us about 4 hours on the run. We didn't switch over to the blizzard strat until level 28. And so we went all the way from 22 to 28 with the Flame Strike Arcane Explosion strat. And I think we probably could have done that much, much better. So that's a big, big time saver that we could have had right there. Now the next part's Darkshire. And I think Darkshire was great. I was able to get a lot of really good experience. But I think the cave kind of messed me up a little bit. And I think I might have started the cave a little bit later if I was to redo this. I started dying in the cave a good amount because if you get the poisons on you and you don't have gear, there's not much hope for you living. And so I think that I would have done this part right here with the cave a little bit better. And I think I would have been able to live a lot longer. Obviously, once you're 30, you get ice block. It's pretty easy to live in here during ice block pools. So I think you're okay at that point. But I think I would have stayed away from this cave until at least level 30. And I think that might have saved some deaths for sure. The final big area of improvement, I would say, would probably be leaving this farm at level 36. Now, this farm was great at 36. I got a good amount of experience. But with the Murlocs, I think I could have gotten even more experience. The Murlocs give so much experience because there's so many mobs. Once you have the pathing down, you're going to be good to go. Unfortunately, their experience slows down, though, once you hit 42. And then actually, this is the last way. Don't go tailoring. This was a massive, massive poor choice on my part, because by going tailoring, I not only cut into my wool cloth stack for the turn-ins, but I also wasted a ton of time tailoring. I probably spent, an hour to 2 hours just tailoring and just making sure that I held mats for tailoring. You don't need the mount for ZF. Don't worry about the mount. Don't sit here trying to make linen belts just so you can level up tailoring. Just drop the tailoring, vendor the things. You can initially have tailoring just to get the wand, but at that point, you might as well just skip it. Here, though, is what I think I did do well. I adapted. Now, I haven't done AoE farming solo to 60 since the very beginning. And a lot of the AoE farming I was doing at the very beginning of Classic was in SM with 3 mages, right? And so my experience with these individual pools was not very much. So I tried to adapt as much as I could. I changed around the strategies as much as I could, and I died a good bit. That's why the death counter got up to 90. And so, I think it could have been a lot higher, and I think it would have been a lot slower if I wasn't adapting as much as I possibly could in order to, try to improve with these strategies. I think if I did it again, the strategies obviously that I have now would help a ton, and I'd be good to go and be able to fly a lot quicker and save a lot of time. Another thing I think I did well was going over and risking ZF at level 40. ZF at 40 is a risk alone, let alone if you don't have gear and if you don't have any pots, right? And so typically we rely pretty heavily on mana pots to be able to get through the ZF kills, but obviously that wasn't an option because I didn't have any. So I think going over and just trying to attempt ZF honestly was a great call. I was able to go 30 minutes level at level 40, and I'm not going to beat that pretty much anywhere else. And so without gear, you just got to be a little bit more calculated with how you do the pools, but it's 100% worth it to get started there at level 40 if you can. And then the last thing I think I did well is the dancing trolls. This was kind of a big thing that I decided early on into the run, and so I knew I'd be going over to dancing trolls, and it paid off. It was definitely a good decision, and it helped me out immensely. Because if I was Horde and I was leveling in a variety of locations, I would have gone from 55 to 60 and probably half the speed. It probably would have cost me about 5 hours. So I think it definitely helped to do this. Now, maybe next time I do this challenge, I'm not going to limit myself to not being able to do ZG, just because ZG at 57 sounds like a lot of fun. And I would love to do that in a world record race. But this was a good decision at the time and helped me kind of close everything out. So overall, guys, I'm pretty happy with the run. I didn't have a ton of preparation going into it. It was kind of spur of the moment to celebrate going full time and everything like that. But it went really well. We were able to do 74 hours and 1 minute, get a new world record. The previous one was 81 hours, 39 minutes. And so I'm happy with it. Could it have gone faster? Definitely. But thank you guys so much for all the support that, I had during it. Whether it be, Ruzel going crazy, Ziriaz going crazy at the end, or just people just hanging out. I appreciate it so much, just hanging out in the chat, talking. It keeps me entertained as well. The thing that I love about streaming is talking to you guys. And so if you guys are new to the stream, definitely, feel free to hop in, hang out, and feel free to talk about anything, especially finance. Love talking about finance, even if it gets me killed on AoE pools sometimes. And I just enjoy it. So thank you guys so much for all the support. Definitely check out the stream at twitch.tv/Arleus. And if you guys enjoy this video, definitely hit that sub button and turn on the notifications down below. So let's talk about who's going to be trying to go for this record. So Tactics is already going for it. He started, I think, the day that I ended. But Tactics is going for a Horde Mage. And then Tommy Salami also wants to do it. We might even do a group competition actually coming up, maybe in a month or 2 months or something like that, pre-TBC, where a group of us go at it together. So we definitely have some leveling ideas in the future. So definitely stay tuned and get excited for those. But it was one heck of a journey. It was a ton of fun. And now I'm going to get back to some TBC prep. All right, everyone, that wraps up today's video. I hope you all enjoyed it, and if you did, please subscribe and leave a like and a comment below to let me know so. And if you guys have any other ideas for any other videos, please let me know in the comments below. Also, check out the description for the Twitch where I do all this live, and also for my Twitter and Discord where you guys can be notified of any future updates and when I'm going to go live on stream. So I'll see you guys in the next video.